Going into week 6 and already posted the hard copy of this message, but just wanted to reach out with this quick video to kind of review the introduction and the conclusion a bit. It's not going to be perfect at this point because you haven't even written your paper, and so I think I mentioned last week that it's just to get something on paper to kind of frame the body of your text. And you will definitely be revising it as you move along into the next steps of the paper. But I do want you to remember what the main point of the introduction is, and that is to identify what your topic is and provide some essential context without really giving away the answer to the problem you will be analyzing or attempting to solve. So you're kind of hinting at it, but you're not completely giving away the answer, because that's what your paper is going to do. It's going to give the meat of the argument of why you're saying what you're saying. And really what it does is it establishes the paper's focus. So when you get to the conclusion, it's going to give your paper a sense of closure. You're going to be restating the introduction, but in different words. And you really want to avoid actually don't put any new information in that conclusion. The conclusion is strictly to restate what you've already said and not to introduce something new. So when you start reviewing your introduction and conclusion, just ask yourself those questions. Is my introduction introducing the problem, and is my conclusion restating the problem? Are there any new facts or pieces of information in the conclusion that I need to pull out? Remember to avoid purpose statements in your introduction. We've been talking about that. You don't want any phrasing like the purpose of this paper is. You can just delete that whole phrase out and usually just start with the next words and it'll work beautifully. You may want to look over my notes on your assignment as I get those into you and make any quick changes on the introduction and conclusion, but remember you'll be doing that along the way. And if you have any questions, refer to page 215 and 221 of Lester, and they've got some nice checklists there that you can kind of double check yourself or sanity check yourself. Important, make sure that your entire paper is written in the third person point of view. And we've been talking about this throughout the course of this class. It's going to be tempting to write sentences that group yourself in with your readers. Like, as Christians, we must remember that our pastors can burn out. We must remember our pastors. That's third person. What it's doing is it's saying that we're all in this together. We must remember. You want to just edit out those pronouns, and you can do it simply by just restructuring the sentences to make it third person. So rather than we, you just say Christians must remember that pastors can burn out. This is really a tricky thing to master, and if you're struggling with that, you can watch the video that I included, the video link I included on the hard copy of this message, and that usually is a little bit helpful, and I'll be pointing those things out. So as you've noticed, I am highlighting them as I go along or editing them out with a comment so that you can see where the problem was. Let's see, for this week's assignment, you're going to be working on pagination. And many students have already been figuring this out. I've seen it come through on some of your assignments. Moody requires a sample pagination be completed on a sample paper. So you are not to be using your own paper for this assignment. And so put your assignment aside for this week as far as pagination is concerned. You are going to be using the paper in the attached file called Assignment 5.1 Sample Paper. Also under Assignment 5.1, you're going to find a video that details how to paginate. And I have a nice request that you don't email me with questions about how to paginate before watching the video. And I even would request that you watch it more than once if you need to. Usually, if you kind of work with it and you watch the video and stop it and go back over the instructions, you're able to figure it out. Now, if you're still stumped, by all means, Email me, shoot me a text, but try to get through it on your own watching the video. That's why it's there, and it's pretty exhaustive. Assignment 5.2 requires reading some web articles on plagiarism and then doing an internet search on the question, are canned sermons plagiarism? And that is usually a lively discussion on the discussion board. Then you're to write a 2 to 3 page paper giving your opinion about that same question with a works cited and citing some information. So it's a heavier week homework-wise, but it's an interesting week. So hopefully you will enjoy it and you will learn a lot. There is a reason why we put such emphasis on plagiarism, and that's because it's a serious issue. So we want you to really kind of understand why it's so important that we cite everything and we don't use someone else's words as our own. I think that's about it. Press on. I keep saying that every week. I'm praying for you all, and we've only got a few weeks after this. So let me know if you have any questions, and God bless. Bye-bye.